Hello everyone! Welcome to Cerebral Arcade. I'm Stacy and we're going to be continuing Night in the Woods today. Yay! So hi, good to see folks in chat. So last time I talked a little bit about at the very end of the stream. Hi, what happened? Good to see you. I talked at the very end of at the very end of the stream, I got the email about having made Twitch affiliate. Yay! So really excited about that. And also mentioned, that I'm moving right now, so things are a little bit, chaotic behind me, but I'm really glad I was able to make the stream today. I probably will not be streaming on Wednesday, just as a heads up, so I'll be sure to send out notices about that and everything. But what that means is we should try to make as much progress as we can in Night in the Woods today. It was a lot of fun last time. We talked a lot about kind of writing difficult subjects, and this game is really really heavy. It's dealing with some pretty heavy themes and subjects in this kind of really light setting, with these woodland creatures and kind of whimsical art style. So I'm going to go ahead and dive back in. Let's see if we can remember where we left off. And also, I'm on a controller this time. We had a little bit of difficulty last time. I was trying to, do some of the platformy stuff on a keyboard, which was a little more difficult than I expected it to be, particularly since I was not prepared for mini games like Guitar Hero style mini games and stuff like that. So hopefully on a controller it should be a little bit easier. So let's keep going. What this will mean, though, is that even though it's my second stream of this game, I'm definitely going to have to figure out what the controls are. So yeah, interesting that it just kind of jumps us back into it. This was not a thing, if I recall, that we were doing when we left. But cool, we have a cool little lightsaber, which seems to give us different abilities. Alright. I also like the little squinty eyes. So our character here has dropped out of college and is back visiting her hometown. Ooh, creepy. And so she kind of just had a big meltdown where she got really drunk at a party, and our best friend from childhood, who we're sort of estranged from, is just dropped us off. Whoa. Okay, wow. Look at those effects. Cats can get drunk, apparently. So I guess this is kind of us in our drunken dreamscape. So smashing stuff is actually kind of a lot of fun. And there have been a couple of moments in this game so far where it sort of feels like it's taking what you would naturally do in the game as a player, and then later commenting on the fact that you did that thing in a very sort of Gone Home-esque way. Where we saw that in the last stream, where we had this kind of platformy puzzle where we sort of jumped off of this roof, and then right after that had our aunt, the police officer, sort of react to that. We had a little cutscene because of it. This is really pretty, the kind of star backdrop here with these different colors. Ooh, okay. Creepy. so it kind of looks like it's pointing. Head back over this way. See if we can find something. The jump is feeling really floaty in this area, but dreamscape, so. Not sure if we can actually get up there. Can't beat up these cars. Oh man. Street Fighter moments. So yeah, this is why cats shouldn't drink. Yeah, apparently. Apparently that's true. Hold Y to save and quit. I don't want to do that. I mean, I feel like there's got to be something with this giant sculpture thing. I'm just not really sure what to do with it. Oh, I don't want to beat it up. Alright. Yeah, exactly. When we only have a hammer, we have one ability we can do. But I really don't want to beat it up, so it's very, you know, sort of, this is a kind of creepy dream sculpture that's very reminiscent of our best friend. But kind of interesting what they're doing here, in that it feels like having a boss battle with nothing, which is, like, super cool and interesting. And also very, like, thematically appropriate to this whole, you know, to themes of mental health and self-care and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a good point too. It basically is what finding your best friend is. Okay, so back in our room. Yeah, pretty, Okay, so we have our little computer here. We've got messages from people. Alright. The cat should be way more hungover. I think that, you know, it was trying to be hungover. The writing wasn't quite as expressive on that as it could be. Hey, sorry about last night. Hope you're feeling okay. Yep, I'm at the Pickaxe all day if you want to stop by. Okay. I'm assuming that's the best friend. B said you're okay. I'm a snack falcon all day. P.S. Jam band later. Okay, I'm so prepared for this on my controller, so we're totally gonna do it. We're gonna jam. So yeah, okay, I kind of want to, yeah, an excellent way to have screen effects. The battle, you mean? Because, like, definitely there were tons of screen effects going on there. I mean, I feel like, honestly, though, the screen effects were kind of necessary, because, like, I was hitting parts of the sculpture expecting something to happen. Nothing did. And then it was actually the screen effects and sound feedback that told me, you know, later on that I had done the correct thing. So this game, super loving it. Demon Tower. Level 2. Oh yeah, with the Hangover. Gotcha. Yeah, no, you're right. You know, and it's tough to say because I think this was a super small team, like 2 people or something. And they do have a really impressive amount of content and polish in the game for how small the team was. Oh my gosh, those little ghosts, their little noises, so cute. Okay, I'm gonna stop playing this game now. Yes, I'll surrender to the horror. I actually really love that there's a whole little mini game in there. I'm not sure how many years it was in development actually. I know that the first time I encountered this game was at Indiecade, probably, I want to say 3 years ago. And the game officially released its full version, I think, late last year or early this year. So it's been a little while, but still impressive, honestly. Okay, I also just want to try this base out just to go get dead, angel face. Whoa, no. Okay, that's the one that came up with my ex at the party. So interesting that it gave me that as a choice, and I was like, oh, interesting. I wonder if this is going to unlock some options later. And then as soon as I tried to pick it, the game was like, oh no, we're not doing that. 2 years ago, you saw it at a conference, but not sure how many before that. Yeah, same. So that's the thing, is I'm not sure how long it was in development before I saw it. Yeah, let's try Die Anywhere Else. So I'm just curious how different this is now that okay, so it's definitely a lot easier. I kind of want to back out of this, though. I don't want to play the whole song. Okay, cool. So it's definitely a lot easier. Not perfect, obviously, but yeah, last stream was rough. I was trying to do that with my left hand on the number thing on the keyboard. It was just, yeah, not good. Not okay. Having something big that only does one thing is like a statement. That's kind of interesting, actually. Kind of true. And so, yeah, and also a reminder that I am not reading dialogue for this one. We had a whole conversation last stream about how there is a certain writing style in games that is meant to communicate information and does not operate super well when read aloud. And this game definitely falls into that category. Okay. No, just tired, or is it that obvious? So far I've taken all of the options to try to bond with my parents, and the game has kind of pushed back on that sometimes, and seems to insistently tell me that, that my parents and I have this kind of pleasant but not particularly close relationship, like very surface level. So I'm gonna kind of keep pushing on that thread just out of roleplay. Like I really want that to be the thing. And yeah, we keep kind of getting themes in this game of of May sort of insistently wanting to be considered an adult, and kind of everything about her life circumstances and, the sort of different approaches to things sort of reminding you that, like, oh no, you're not actually an adult. Yeah, so like Susie Kushner. Fried. And now she can't use adjectives. Oh no. An entire part of speech. See, that's the exact kind of sentence Susie can't formulate. So yeah, and this is what I mean, like, I think that it's easy to see like this kind of text and you're trying to read it aloud and it doesn't have sort of the level of narrative voice that we might expect from something like film writing or other kinds of writing that happens on screens that we would expect to be fully VO'd. But it has like a little bit more of like a literary essence to it. There are a lot of things that when written in literature just wouldn't sound good read aloud, you know, but they're sort of conveying information, exposition, conveying information about backstory in a way that is a lot harder to do when it's read aloud. And things like jokes like that, jokes about, you know, language, are actually really hard to do while being read aloud. It's the sort of thing that's sort of relying on the fact that the player is like physically reading this instead of hearing it, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, text. You mean like text messages? Which read aloud would make no sense. Yeah. Uh, yeah, and I think there's actually a lot of different types of texts, we might say, that are like that. Like text messages certainly is a really good example, but I think like yeah, like I was saying, there's a lot of stuff that, you know, in literature happens all the time that we're like, oh, that would sound really weird. Um, Friendships are like trees. You have to water them so they grow. Okay. Strange interactions with the parents, as always. Um, yeah, incidentally, this game absolutely is much better on a controller. So, lesson learned. These guys still doing their thing. Can't pass. End of level. The squirrels. I love the squirrels. And yeah, now doing the platformy stuff is way easier. And of course we're gonna jump on the power lines. Mom just told us not to. Um, Dubious physics. Yeah, so it's interesting because while this game has certain platforming elements to it and is definitely in communication with like platformers as a genre, it's not really a platforming game. Like so far we really haven't had to like do platformy puzzles. We haven't had kind of like fail states based on platforming. Not in the same way of something like, you know, Mario or something like that. This really is like more like a point and click adventure channeling platformers, and most of like the kinds of puzzles that we've had to do have been much more kind of adventure style puzzles. Ham Panther Pharmacy. So yeah, oh geez, that's a good reaction. A very good poet. Oh man. We can't say no to hearing someone's poetry, even though I probably want to. Alright, my heart is a dankness. But when I see you, I feel thankness. Okay, good. Yep. That's really nice. We can't no, we can't say no. That's so mean. Um it keeps going. When I feel a blueness, all I need is you-ness. Yep. That's very romantic. It's about my horse. We're just friends. The horse. Oh my god, look at these squirrels with little nuts in their mouths. Oh, we haven't seen this guy. Oh my gosh, we can bounce the squirrels. That's the greatest. Arnold Applebaum owned the mining company like 1,000 years ago. Taking notes for what? Oh gosh. So, yeah, the poetry there, I actually really like that it leaned into like how bad most people's poetry is as a joke. Oh no! Ah, that's okay. We were just having fun with the bouncing. Okay, so this actually, funny enough, feels kind of like a choice moment. We're sort of wandering around. We don't have an actual objective right now, so we're just kind of trying to figure out which one of our friends we want to go see. So we had like a horribly awkward and atrocious night with former best friend B, who kind of yelled at us for not being a good friend and all of that stuff. Construction's finally done. The stairs are open. Wonder what's going on up there. Basically begging you as the player to go check them out. Oh wow, this is like a whole thing. Looks like a church. I think I'm actually gonna come back and explore this after I go talk to my friends because this seems like it might be a whole thing. So, so we have to decide. Do we want to go chat with Greg, who has been super happy to see us and consistently nice since we've gotten back? Or do we want to go chat with B, who seems to hate us and apparently has good reason to? I'm actually kind of inclined to go chat with B, especially since we just had a dream about beating her up. So this person, oh yeah, we're definitely gonna steal these pretzels. So on our first day back from college, this guy yelled at us about a pretzel that we stole when we were like a child or something, and so now the game gives us the option to just steal pretzels every time we go by. So we're doing that. Okay, hello. Right, so this person, that's right, said that they were going to tell us some stories about our granddad. Oh man, and I really want to hear these stories about granddad, but like maybe not right this second, but I'm worried that if I say no, this is going to go away as a storyline. Um, okay, so yeah, I want to know. So our grandfather has died, and there's kind of this general sense of like darkness surrounding him. Folks that were around for real hard times. Okay, we're gonna go talk to B right after this. When the workers went up against armies, great great grandpa or whatever might have gotten a number of greats wrong there. Your grandfather and I weren't around for a lot of the violence. That was before even our time. So there's also kind of this implication with this person that they were very close to our granddad and possibly love interests. So I'm kind of interested to see where that goes. And we need to talk again another time. I get tired. Okay. So yeah, that was a really strange interaction where it was like, yeah, here's a little bit of backstory, but not the whole backstory, and we'll just finish later. And then in true video game fashion, I was like, oh, can I give you anything? And she was like, nah, we're good. Um, okay. And then there's kind of these people who are this committee that seem to just wander around trying to make the city better. And every time I interject, they kind of treat me like a kid. And yeah, they're just kind of having this conversation above me, and me pressing B just makes them have their conversation faster. I can't actually interrupt here. So, okay, let's go find our friend. Hostilities has closed. Oh no. We just had pizza there like yesterday. Since that flood, what did the flood take out? Mini golf. Yeah, for sure. Playing putt-putt. Eating mini golf. Why is this cat like me? That's so weird. Okay, so here's the video store where one of our friends works, but not the one we're trying to talk to. Okay. I don't actually know if I've been here. Yeah, there she is. Yeah, so I don't really remember much of what happened, and it's actually not clear to me if like my character is just saying that or if she actually doesn't believe. So that's kind of an interesting thing about this game is that it hasn't really given me a lot of conversation choices. Like a lot of the choices it has given me have been things that feel really small and kind of defining the backstory. But not really as much like actually fleshing out how I want my character to be. Um, so yeah, and we apparently keep giving Bea a hard time about the fact that all of the instruments she plays are actually on a laptop, which is fine. Electronic music is totally a thing. So it's weird. Like she's being a lot nicer to me now than she has been. Um, but I still don't feel like super warm there. I don't know. A lot of the choices we have been making have actually just kind of been whether we want to continue having conversations with a person or like walk away. Um, I had no idea there were so many kinds of hammers. Yeah, and wrenches and nails. This poor cat seems traumatized by nails. Okay, so now I feel a little bit more free. We went and talked to our friend who was mad at us, and things seem a little better. So let's go explore what's going on in this house up here, because that looked interesting. Or this giant church thing. Sad I don't have my lightsaber anymore. Interesting. So there's the church. Okay. Doesn't look like much more, or if there is more, it's gonna be like a long thing, so go explore. Okay, very different music. It's my mom! Feels weird that I would be surprised to see my mom in the place that she works, but I am. Okay, so our parents work in the church, or at least our mom does. Which I didn't know before this moment, but puts some of our conversations into context. And yeah, it actually now kind of feels like the game is maybe making some commentary on church working people. Maybe not. Maybe it's just coincidence. True crime videos. But at the very least, what it does do is characterizes our mom as not just kind of having this surface level conversation. Hi, Floop. Oh my gosh, good to see you. Yeah, it characterizes our mom a little bit as like not just having these kind of surface level conversations, but you know, maybe like actually being as like wholesome and, you know, chirpy as you know, she seemed to be at first. Oops. Everything feels bad. Yeah, that's my journal. Rough. Okay. Yeah, not really sure. I don't have very many buttons, so like, yeah. Okay. So my one frustration with this game, or at least my greatest frustration with this game, is the inability to kind of chat with people and recall what they said after they said it. So like, particularly since this combines with a UI thing where there are a lot of times that I press, you know, the next button hoping that it's going to draw all the text to the screen at once, and it actually just goes to the next thing without even drawing all of the text or drawing it very quickly. So so sometimes that's a little frustrating because you can kind of get into a rhythm of tapping through on these really short sentences, and then you know, get into a situation where you miss something, and not only have you missed it, but nobody will repeat it, and there's no record of it in your journal or something like that. So so at least we found the people we were looking for. Yeah, they're not really. Like, I mean, it does its, you know. Yeah, there we go. Way more syllables. Um, I mean, it is nice that, you know, for example, the text just stays on the screen, but impatient me, you know, pressing the button too quickly. Yeah, so interesting that like there's kind of this connotation to animals living in the woods as like, oh, you live in the woods. Just Bruce. Pastor. Okay. Anything else over here? Okay, we've lost the music. Do you think I'd die if I jump off this cliff? Probably. Let's try it. Oh, nope. Invisible wall. Okay. Well, that's a shame. I kind of wish they'd put a cliff or something, but I always wanted to climb the water tower. There is a lot of death in this game. Like, a lot of people are kind of casually mentioned as having died. And then there's kind of like the looming death of my grandfather. You know, kind of whatever dark thing led me to leave college. There's a lot of death and darkness. There's also kind of the implication that I contributed to the death of my grandfather. Well, it's been pretty explicitly stated that I contributed. It's just not entirely clear. People say I killed him, and that's not entirely clear yet what actually happened there. Look at the squirrels. Okay. I love these squirrels so much. Oh, I jumped on it and it ran away faster. Oh, These people are so mad at me jumping on the power lines. We're doing it. We're doing it. Nuke Possum Springs. What else we got? Greetings. Salutations. Alright. Yep. Yeah. Well, exactly. And that's the other thing, is that, you know, me kind of doing this thing, which the game has made really fun to do with this kind of like nice sound feedback. You know, this thing that I naturally want to do as a player, the game is like, that thing makes you a kid. And my character so desperately wants to not be considered a kid, but, you know, by virtue of wanting that, is kind of positioning herself as, you know, not quite adult. Those darn squirrels. I think these are supposed to be weather stations. Pioneer Scouts made them when they weren't playing football or learning about manhood. These are the manliest of miniature windmills, for sure. I don't know why I'm being mean to pigeons, honestly. It's just because they react. Oh no! Oh. That's annoying. Okay. Hey. It's me. I'm gonna sit. My legs are killing me. Yeah, and I'm getting old. 15. Yeah, so that was another one of those moments where I hit a button to see the next text and it registered as a jump instead of next text button, and then my character sat down. So yeah, just kind of nice little moments like that. Most kids don't come all the way up here. That's why it's nice. Okay, so this person thinks we live in the rich neighborhood, and we're really surprised by that. And this person's very, awkward. Yeah, so a lot of the writing feels like it's not trying to communicate something actually of substance with the writing itself. Like, it seems like the writing in this game so far has kind of two modes, where it's like, hello player, let me explain something to you. Or it's kind of these things where it's like, it's not actually saying anything or communicating much, but it's kind of just giving an overall impression of awkwardness. Where, like, we're kind of performing a conversation without really having one. Which is interesting and also kind of appropriate, I guess, for our character, who feels very disconnected with people. And it's sort of communicating to me as a player. See, again, that was me having triggered that jump. Cool. Look at my little wave. Okay. And I can continue having a conversation again. Okay. And I really love these kind of, like, these little icons that are sort of just meant to communicate, like, a general conversation topic. Oh, gosh. Okay. These jumps. Oh, no. All right. It's like a triple jump. Jumps extra high. So there's kind of like a whole timing thing to get it down. But you can't triple jump on the wires. Okay. Alright, not quite that far. Okay. That didn't count! Oh no! Alright. That didn't either. Alright. Figuring out the platforming. There we go. This cat's sleeping. But this cat is not like me. Alright. Okay, and I have a new journal entry. Thought rooftop cat is correct. Alright, that's what we got. Oh. Yeah, I'll see if I can get over to those. Yeah, that's just the weather vane thing again. Okay. Yes, so far everyone in this world is animals. But it's kind of weird because some of the animals are just animals, like these squirrels and the pigeons, and some of the cats that are not me, and like this raccoon. But then some of the animals are people. So yeah, it's weird. There doesn't seem to be like rhyme or reason to it, but I kind of like that. It's, you know, it's fun, whimsical. Okay, let's see if we can get up to whoever he's talking about. It is interesting that the game is pretty insistently like, don't jump on the power lines. And obviously all I wanted to do was jump on the power lines, but I couldn't do it last stream, so glad to be able to this stream. I don't know if I can get up to him. I'm not sure how. Maybe, oh, I'll have to go across those. Okay. Oh, that squirrel just running. Okay. Oh, thanks for happening. Really appreciate you joining. And say goodnight to Mal, too. Okay. Let's see. Alright, we're totally gonna make it. I'm totally gonna make this jump. Not gonna make it. Alright, let's try. Didn't make it. Okay, I'm giving up. We're just gonna keep walking. So it's interesting. I don't think I've actually come back in the middle of the day before. But nobody's here. Talk to Mom. Looks like Dad's not really home. Though, funny enough, I don't think I've actually seen where my parents sleep, now that I'm thinking about it. Left 45, right 100, left 22, right 90, right 15. I am not going to remember that. Oh gosh. Okay. Chat, you're in charge of remembering that. What is this? Oh good. The game's going to remember it for me. Thank you, game. F the cops. Thought, become a fire ghost and yell at people. Ah, come back to life, Granddad. Never drink again or go in public. It's Selmer's a poet. Cool. So we have some pages here where we can see stuff we're supposed to supposed to fill in. So there's a couple things we're missing. We'll kind of go back through town. There were a couple areas of town we didn't really explore because I was so sort of beelining to try to make up with my friend. But we'll definitely go and hang out with Greg, because last time we went and chatted with Greg, we ended up at band practice, and that was cool. Yeah, I really love the journal too. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like a lot of games, I'm thinking like of Life is Strange, for example, use the journal as kind of a recap function. Oh my gosh, I just jumped on that squirrel. Use the game as or the journal as a recap function for the game. And this game doesn't really do that. In fact, I was just talking about how that's sometimes frustrating because sometimes I forget, for example, like what I'm doing or you know, what my objective was. But this one, it feels like the journal is actually adding additional information. So like, okay. We've already talked to our friends a whole bunch. So it's adding additional information and actually revealing thoughts that the character, you know, that our player character has that we as players might not be privy to otherwise. I've never been to war. So, for example, you know, we do have some of that where like this Greg's pizza scale was in direct reference to a conversation that we had, and we saw an arm, a severed arm, but things like, you know, the stuff with Grandpa definitely do feel, you know, a little more personal. I don't know if we've chatted with this cool person. We've got like the same shirt, but opposites. From? God's Wrestling League. Secret because it's illegal and people go to the hospital and stuff. So that's cool. We haven't had like positive reactions to a lot of things as a character, so it's really good to see, you know, our character actually being happy about stuff. Okay. Cool. So we're gonna have band practice. And there's like certainly cute things there about, you know, the bear doing growling, and it's a bear. Yeah. Beaver Priest. Oh my gosh, look at these titles. That's great. Okay, and we'll have to actually, let's take a look at those again. We'll have to actually, like, keep in mind whether these change or not. I don't recall what they were last time, so let's keep an eye on that. Be Nice is the one that I like. Okay, Poor Possibilities, closed. Okay. Okay, so we have an entry for Jeremy. And we're going to keep talking. So far my play strategy has just kind of been, like, to continue these conversations with people, even though 9 times out of 10, they kind of veer off in an awkward direction. Oh my gosh, this pregnant raccoon walking by. Floop, I love that you have emotes for like all of these different animals. It's so good. It's so good. Okay. Can't go in the bar. Okay. Right. So yeah, we ran into the severed arm here, the last time we played, and like that absolutely, was kind of the thing. It's like, where did this arm come from? Um, that is great, Floop. Um, like, that's why you're my hero. Uh, so yeah, and I mentioned really briefly that actually this had happened to me a long time ago. I just happened to like find a severed foot in a parking lot. And like these were exactly my questions as well. I'm like, how does this get left here? Like how did nobody, I don't know, notice or come back for it? Like how is it just there and then whoever it belongs to is gone? And yeah, and as I mentioned on the last stream, like the police did show up like shortly after I saw it, so it wasn't like somebody else had already informed them or whatever. But yeah, like this was exactly my thing. Is like, oh, yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. It's so weird because I remember like having all of these exact thoughts too. Like, what even? Um, yeah, it was absolutely wild. Um, okay, Snack Falcon. Let's do it. Okay, so this is Greg. Greg is my favorite. I love Greg. Um, Greg is just super happy to see us all the time. And I really love that because there's been zero insinuation of like romantic stuff. Like so far, everybody that it's kind of, you know, insinuated I had any like romantic interest in or anything has been this thoroughly awkward situation. And Greg is just always really happy to see me, but he's dating Angus. So like it feels like the game is not in any way like pushing a romantic thing there. We're just like super happy to see each other. And I actually really love that as kind of a thing. So wow, I was expecting a reaction. I wasn't expecting like now we're just going. Okay, cool. We're at band practice. Um okay. Yeah, and then, there's just I just keep having these kind of awkward conversations with people where I'm like, cool story. Okay. And I don't know, like I think because so much of this game is focused on like the difference between adults and children, it feels a little bit like it might be trying to characterize the conversations that children have, though I'm not really entirely sure. It does kind of have that vibe though of just like, hey, here's the thing I did, oh hey, here's a different thing I did, be impressed. In this way that doesn't feel like we're actually having a conversation or connecting or anything like that. Okay. Okay. Here we go. We tested a little bit earlier that the controller is in fact better for this than keyboard. So let's try it. I have no idea what the song is. No, I had it turned down really low, but yeah, you should be able to hear it a little bit. Let me try to turn it up a little bit more, and let me know if this is too quiet or too loud, and hopefully it comes through a little bit. If not, no worries. You're really not missing much. It seems like, to be honest, most of the feedback in this game is done with camera effects. So yeah, it's really tough because because there's not as much visual indication of how the song is supposed to go as there is in something like Rock Band, for example, or games that do this as an actual thing. And also, I can also barely hear the song. So it seems like it's actually kind of trying to make it a little bit hard. I, for example, did not have a really good feel for what even the beat of that song was supposed to be, what the actual rhythm was, other than just how quickly the lines were coming at me. So and so I think you're right also about the conversations feel really awkward as a way to mirror May's social awkwardness. And I think as well, these are supposed to feel pretty difficult because our character is not feeling super confident about their abilities. That was pretty loud. Is that good? Loud's fine. And fine was such a good word there because fine is such a loaded word that usually doesn't actually mean fine. So yeah, and right now there is no game sound other than slight feedback sounds when speech bubbles come up. So yeah, so we can ask Greg or we can just go. Yeah, let's just go. We don't need to ask Greg. Greg had family stuff. Okay, we have another car scene. Yeah, but we have an actual conversation now, which is great. Right. Okay. Yeah, so back on, more stuff happening that kind of changes our perception of the town we grew up in, and kind of this sad moment of the first time you come back from school after being away from your hometown for a while, and things kind of inevitably do change. I think this game captures that feeling really well. Yeah. Which, like, this is actually kind of an interesting emotion to be trying to capture. It's kind of this mix of nostalgia, but also a little bit of anxiety in there as well, that things are kind of changing without you, and it kind of leaves you without this sense of place. And, like, I think that one thing this game has done consistently well is kind of, like, capturing these different sort of nebulous feelings that I haven't seen captured in other games before. Like, I think Gone Home did a really good job of capturing that sense of coming home and being a stranger in your own house sort of thing. After, your parents maybe change things after you move out and stuff like that. This one is definitely capturing the darkness of, that nostalgia and stuff, but also kind of the darkness of feeling like you have mental health stuff going on that you don't necessarily feel comfortable talking about with other people, and you kind of are seeing it everywhere. Yeah, I feel like there's kind of just this like inevitable darkness that's that this game is doing a really great job of capturing. What? I mean, I should have realized that. It had kind of told me, or, had taught me through the pretzel thing. Oh no. Yeah, that's a really good point, Floop. I think that there are, I think you could probably make an argument that things like the indie games exhibit at the EGW and stuff like that are doing that kind of thing. But it would be really cool to have, and Indiecade, of course. But you're right, though, that those venues also are catering to things like complex new mechanics and stuff like that. And so to have some kind of outlet or some sort of way to search for games that are specifically dealing with complex emotions would be really cool. Like dinosaurs. Oh, my little paw is shaking. This is a cool minigame. I am so caught. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is so nerve-wracking. Oh, the, like, wiggling text. The wiggling text is a really good touch. Okay. I'm really trying. Alright. I just need to be slower, more patient. Okay. Oh my god, I have to actually put it in my pocket. Ah! I was so trying. Okay. Alright. We'll go even slower, I guess. I'm really glad though that that was like a hard fail and I got to redo it and that it wasn't just a like, okay, now you are arrested. What? I don't want my friend to steal things. Oh no. I'm like trying to get back into Bee's good graces and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just steal this thing. No. Oh no. Oh. Yeah, seriously, May, why? Why are you doing this to me? Okay. Uh-huh. T-shirts are 20% off. Yeah, I saw. Let's go with this one, I guess, since that's the one we set up as a thing. No one ever asks this, but I think about it all the time. Radical youth culture uprising, no! No! I really love that this game, kind of takes like exactly as cynical an approach of writing as I do. So it's like leaning into things like puns and puns being like kind of cringeworthy and you know, and also like the guy's terrible poetry and stuff like that. Yeah, let's go. That's really dumb. I had a job once. Yeah. Uh, yeah, that is definitely gonna come back to bite us. Okay, it doesn't seem like we can go upstairs. So we'll just keep walking. Totally reasonable. It's a funnier option, so we'll go with that. Um, Look at that art. Such art. That we can't go see. Okay. Yeah, let's eat. What did you get? Um, yeah, so it's cute. We have a chance to decide what we just ate. Pizza taco. Yeah, for sure. Oh no! See, I did it again. I didn't mean to actually like click through there. Um, Somebody was pregnant with somebody's baby. Yeah. Yeah, let's go with Kathy. Sounds like Ron wasn't the greatest. So that was clever because that feels like a bit of writing that was probably applicable in both situations. And I mean, a lot of the writing has felt that way so far with just like one small thing changed. But it's interesting because it still felt like a meaningful choice because I, as a player in that moment, got to make the decision of like, oh, I want to be more interested in what Kathy's doing than what Ron's doing. So even though like the game probably is responding with the same text either way, like it feels like the conversation was steered by me. Yeah, let's go with Ron. There's been a lot of religion in this episode, so let's go ahead and lean into the God angle. Um, hmm. Yeah, we keep kind of having this hint that something really terrible happened, but we don't yet know what it is. Aw. So interesting, I couldn't jump before. And now I can. So we're gonna touch the art. We're apparently gonna jump on the art. I am absolutely gonna jump on the art. So this game does do a really good job of making it really pleasurable to do the things you're not supposed to do. Like steal this thing, whatever it is. Or turn all the lights off. Oh man. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's much more of a delay than it feels like there should be, but okay, and it also oh, that's so great. Like, it does do a really good job of making, you know, kind of subversive play fun. And in some ways, like, that's not really subversive. Like, that's exactly what the game is asking me to do. But it's certainly, like, leaning into this, into this idea that, like, well, maybe I'm not really fully an adult. And also, maybe that's okay. I was trying to get her. I don't think I can. I got mad. Okay. Oh no. God, Stevenson. Yeah, that's kind of my reaction to what? Okay, so definitely kind of an interesting dramatic arc to this scene. We had, you know, kind of this huge ramping up of dramatic tension with me stealing stuff, and then going back and having B steal stuff. Though honestly, I think we probably, in terms of drama, that felt like a little bit of a step down, but still, really big dramatic scenes, followed by this huge lightening of tension with the fountain scene. We're actually then reconnecting with B. She's laughing. And then going back to return the merchandise, which sort of takes all of the drama out of that situation, because we still had the merchandise on us, so there was still a little bit of potential for us to be caught. And now we returned it, and we're sort of putting this place behind us, which feels sort of thematically appropriate, and more death. And we've connected with B. So we had, you know, kind of this huge lightning. And, you know, I think we talked a little bit last time about the fact that this game is dealing with such, you know, sort of heavy topics, but it does so in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming, because it's peppered with these, you know, with these really funny moments, and also these, you know, these kind of heartfelt moments as well. Yeah, so our dad is like typical dad humor. And we, just like with interactions with our mom, our biggest choice here is, do we want to continue talking to our parents, or do we want to just go up and go to sleep? And we're going to continue talking with our parents. We've been an excellent daughter. Oh, see, and we have this option to kind of bond with our father because of it, so... Nice. Oh, the little jiggling is really cute. And this interface is actually a really clever way to show the TV without changing the backgrounds at all, and just kind of giving us this pass-through look. That was cool. Okay, we watch TV. Can we talk again? Nope. Okay. Okay, we'll go up and go to sleep. And I wonder what it's gonna say about the stuff in the crawl space now. Dad should move them, it's only fair. Same thing that it said, and still applicable in the context. Good. Okay. And we can chat with people. See if we have any new messages. Love this pizza cursor so much. Okay, something from B. Cool mall times. Nice. And we actually have some banter now between us and B, which feels like a real win. So, cool. What do we got with Greg? Oh no. It sounds like Greg is having some hard times. Which is kind of sad. Yeah, we'll see what's going on there. What is this thing? Ah, I see. Okay, cool. And we could play more Demon Tower, but I'm gonna pass on that. Yeah, we'll go ahead and go to bed. Okay, we have another little dream world game. Whoa. Okay. So floaty physics again. And, wow, these creepy lights coming on. No sword this time. Whoa, creepy birds. Whoa, this is so pretty. Alright, and yeah, in the back we have constellations. Oh no! Okay. Whoa. Creepy. Super creepy. Okay, and yeah, the sort of like the lighting of the lantern tropes feels very, very familiar. This feels like a little bit of like a remix of that though, right? Because it's like, we're used to lighting lights as ways to progress and unlock puzzles, but there's something about it in this context that feels a little bit different to the way it's normally used. It feels a little bit more like it's more of like an act of self-discovery almost. And you know, I think also because it's a dream state, we're also maybe a little bit more predisposed to interpreting that stuff metaphorically too. Wait, did that light just go out? Oh, this is gonna be a super pain if I have to... No, it's not. Okay, cool. So yeah, so there is a little bit of music in this scene, and each character that I've brought forward is playing an instrument, and there's kind of an additive quality to the music. So I apologize, chat, for the fact that you're not hearing the sound on this. We have Angus. I'll make sure for the next stream though that that we get it piped in, and that it's loud enough for you to hear it. Now, where are we missing? There might be something in the middle, maybe. Yeah, let's try that. Yeah, I'm not sure. Try down. Okay, yeah, we've got one more. Possibly over here. How do I get you? Okay, maybe higher. There it is. Hmm. Whoa. Whoa. Controller's vibrating so much. Okay, so that was pretty intense. Um, so actually, I'm gonna probably stop it there. We're gonna do a slightly shorter stream today since I am still in the middle of moving. And yeah, this game's doing some really interesting stuff with the relationship between the player character and the player, where I think a lot of games try to sort of minimize the distance between the player character and the player. So a lot of games try to, for example, avoid situations where I'm asked to make a choice about something that I don't have knowledge about as the player in order to kind of maximize agency. But this game's not really shying away from that. Like, it's 100% like just asking me to make decisions on stuff that I'm kind of making the decisions blindly. But in a lot of cases, the game seems to also be arguing that even if I weren't making the decisions blindly, they might not necessarily have the kind of impact that I'm hoping for anyway. It feels very much like a linear game that's kind of just being told through me exploring it and kind of clicking to see it as I explore it in space and time, which is super cool. I think what's funny is this game is certainly giving me less agency in some ways than Detroit was, for example. But it doesn't feel as much like a limitation here as it did in Detroit because the game isn't really promising me any more than it's giving. Where Detroit felt like it was really making a lot of promises about, me being able to have a different story and different consequences based on decisions I was making, and then didn't feel like it was actually arming me to make the kinds of decisions I wanted to make. This game actually isn't really promising that. It's kind of just saying like, hey, you're gonna see this story and you're gonna see it unfold in the amount of time it takes you to do stuff, and you can kind of explore this quest line or that quest line, but I'm using the term quest line really to mean kind of like sub-stories, like the thing with the woman in the underground tunnel talking about our grandfather and stuff like that. But in a lot of ways it feels like, just a very lightly branching narrative, one that feels fairly linear, but feels like I'm progressing it through these kind of mimetic actions that are supposed to mimic what my player character is doing, and it's kind of like enabling the closeness that way. So it's interesting. It's a really different approach than some of the other games we've played, and so far I'm still really interested. I think it's doing a really good job of balancing dark, heavy stuff with cute, whimsical creatures and like humor and kind of like bonding and friendships and levity and stuff like that. So again, I don't believe I'm going to be streaming on Wednesday. If that changes, I will obviously update Twitter and let everybody know. But I am moving right now, again, hence the chaos in the background right now. And I'm just not sure that my internet is going to be up and reliable at the new place by Wednesday. So I want to set expectations that I won't be streaming. And then if I am, then like, wow, yay. And if I can't stream, then we will continue this on Sunday. And I will be really happy to see you all. Thank you so much for coming out and joining. I really appreciate it. And again, thanks so much for your help with hitting affiliate. That means a lot to me, and I'm really excited about it. I will be updating things here. Look for updates on the Twitch page, certainly updates on Facebook and Twitter. If you're not already following on Facebook and Twitter, please go ahead and do that. And we also have a YouTube channel where we post replays of the streams as well. So if you are not subscribed on YouTube, please go ahead and do that. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining, and I will look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Okay, bye.